Hi, everybody. This is more of a message for parents and guardians than it is for kids. Just a couple housekeeping reminders that you should have heard from your child's teacher about pickup of supplies, meaning taking the supplies here from the school home, as well as report card pickup. It's also very important that if you have medications here at the school, that you remember to pick them up as well. Perhaps send in an email to Mrs. Audrey, or no, sorry, Mrs. Hammer, and arrange for those to be picked up at the same time. Also, of course, we'd like any library books around the house returned as well. And finally, we have our devices that we've loaned out. They need to be returned on Monday and Tuesday of next week. So that's Monday the 22nd and Tuesday the 23rd. I'll be sitting out front of the building with a table. You can come and just drop it there. If you took a charger and a cable, we'd like those back as well. That's so that we can make sure that we have enough supplies in case we're looking at the same type of startup for next year. Let's hope not. In closing, I'd just like to say it's been a very, very unique year. Very hard in a lot of ways, and I know very hard on a lot of you in terms of having to balance both work, for those of you who were able to work during the crisis, and schooling for your children. And I'm sure there's a degree of anxiety about children may have fallen behind or concerns about growth and development. 2 points to make about that. Number one, please rest assured that learning is not just about what we do here at school. Your children have continued to learn this entire time that they've been away from school. Everything we do as human beings involves teaching and learning. We learn from our experiences. Our kids are learning valuable lessons about life right now and how fragile it is. They may not be explicit, but they are lessons. The other piece, of course, that our children are learning about is all this conversation around anti-racism, systemic racism. Although they may seem too young to you to be necessarily aware of or engaged in that sort of dialogue, it's important that we talk to our children and we talk about what's going on in the world. To address the learning gaps that some of you may feel will exist as a result of this prolonged absence from school, my advice is it's now time to make sure that you're involved with your child's growth and learning of reading. Many of you have already, but if you haven't, it might be time to say, you know what, I need to dedicate some time. Read with them for at least half an hour a day. Read side by side different books. Read the same book and talk about it. Take turns reading passages from the book. Talk about the latest book you've read, or talk about a new book that's been released. The whole point of this is to make sure that your children feel that reading is something that you do and that they recognize the importance to it. Those things will really help in minimizing any gaps that may occur as a result of this prolonged absence. So please make sure you engage with your children for at least a half an hour a day with reading. Not necessarily formal lessons, but reading. As I said, read with, read beside, and talk about it. Also, talk about environmental reading when you go on trips in throughout the province, if that's what you're doing this summer. Read schedules for ferries or buses. Have your children read the maps and the mileage signs. Those are all great ways to demonstrate how reading is a big part of what we do in the world. Anyway, it's kind of sad how we're ending the year. No, it's very sad. The school just does not feel right, nor does the fact that it is coming to an end. So for those of you who are unaware, next Monday will be the last day for our 6-7s. Next Tuesday will be the last day for our K-5s. If there are any children here through ESW or vulnerable students, their last day will be Wednesday and it will end at noon. I want to say thank you again to all of those who've stopped by the school and said hi. And thank you to all those who have been able to maintain a positive influence on your children and a positive influence on our community. This too shall pass. This truly is a great community. And we'll get back to what we were, I'm quite confident, in no time at all. In September, we still don't know what it's going to look like, but we do know that as a community, we will move through it together. Thank you. Wishing you all a wonderful summer. And I'm not going to sing because it's the adults. Anyway, take care. Enjoy yourselves. Stay safe.